Chapter 1. The Return of the Monopolies. Back in September of 2019, Mark Zuckerberg paid me a visit. He delivered himself to my door on Capitol Hill with a retinue of lobbyists and government affairs people in train, cameras whirring, reporters shouting, the whole big tech baronial circus right there on the second floor of the Russell Senate office building. Zuckerberg wanted to talk about Facebook, of course, his gift to the world, and why, on his telling, that mighty tech behemoth was utterly deserving of all the special giveaways and protections it enjoyed from the United States government. We met in a narrow room across a long, varnished table, he on one side, I on the other, with a handful of staff flanking each of us. Light poured in from a high Norman window. We were arrayed as if negotiating the conclusion of some global conflagration, though this meeting brought no end of hostilities. On the contrary, Zuckerberg had asked to meet approximately 2 months earlier. By then, I had been in the Senate only a matter of months. I was its youngest member, and I had devoted much of that early time to the problem of big tech. Within weeks of taking my oath, I proposed new protections for children online and new rights for parents to guard their families' privacy. I proposed limits to tech's addictive design features and reforms to confront tech's political censorship. This followed from my efforts as Missouri Attorney General to investigate Facebook and Google for antitrust and consumer protection violations. I was the first state attorney general in the nation to launch such a probe. Facebook, Inc. was not amused. Zuckerberg originally proposed we meet in California at his headquarters in Silicon Valley. I refused. The point of a meeting like this was to make a point, to put down a marker. My aim was to confront him on the real issue at stake, the power of his monopoly to force that question to the fore. I was not about to travel to Facebook Central Command to be part of some corporate photo op. I suggested we meet in Missouri, my home. We finally compromised on my Senate office in Washington. By the time Zuckerberg arrived at my doorstep that afternoon in September, he had been in the Capitol for a day or more, making the rounds, hosting exclusive dinners. I was always amazed at the number of senators and congressmen who fawned over his invitations, applying a personal touch. Our meeting in my office came toward the end of his charm offensive. He arrived prepared to reason with me, I could see. His demeanor was polite. His tone was patient, explanatory. He was even ready to make concessions. He acknowledged Facebook had wrongly deplatformed a pro-life group, Live Action. We made a mistake, he said, and suggested that the problem may be systemic. We have a bias problem at Facebook, he said. He promised action to address political bias. He also nodded to the problem of privacy, said he wanted to protect kids online, and pledged new steps to address the growing issue of online addiction. His agenda, in short, was to make Facebook a model corporate citizen. And all he needed the Senate to do was nothing. Stay out of it. Let Facebook right its ship. Or, if the Senate were inclined to do something, then impose privacy regulations of the kind Facebook was already complying with, conveniently, and be sure to apply them to smaller companies as well, startups and so forth, lest competition get out of hand. Which was about the time I decided to get to the heart of the matter. You talk about competition and privacy and ending unfair censorship, I said, but it's your monopoly that gives you the power to do all those things. So let's get serious. Stop buying off competitors. Stop throttling competition. Prove you're ready to change. End your monopoly. Sell Instagram and WhatsApp. Break up the Facebook empire.